All right, good morning, everyone. I'm Brutalist today, so this will be fun. It is Sunday, it is podcast day. A little behind. Didn't have much of a schedule set up for today since Brutal's not joining us. So, flying solo. Gonna be fun. Gonna be fun. Great fun. Great fun. Let's get this bad boy rolling. All right, everybody, it's Sunday. It's the Midnight Misfits podcast. Yours truly, Arctic Jag, is here. Brutal has the day off. So I am flying solo, which will be fun. Today, we are going over Outriders. Or at least I am. So let's get this thing rolling. Welcome, everybody. This is Midnight Misfits Podcast, Episode 5, Outriders First Impressions. Today, your host, Arctic Jag, will be going over the game, my impressions of it, what mechanics there are. So, sit back, relax, and let your misadventure guide lead the way. All right, everyone. So, a couple of quick shout outs. Shout outs to the Misfits. Shout out to Harris Heller for the copyright free music. Shout out to Brutal. He's out doing life things, so he's not with us today. But you can always find us on Twitch and Facebook and YouTube. So, anyways, let's get down to it. Outriders. Outriders came out the first. The demo came out first. A little bit before that. I think it was like a week or two before that. I played the demo. I enjoyed it. I did not grind the demo like a lot of people did. Largely because I was still pretty much engrossed in Destiny, and I still am. I just want to take some time off and play Outriders, kind of get a feel of it, my impressions of it. So, the game came out on the 1st. I've been playing it pretty religiously since the 1st. I've been holding off doing this podcast because I wanted to get a good feel of the game before I gave an opinion on it. So between work and family, I've been playing roughly 3 hours a night. I think is what it's running right now. So it's been a little while since we did a podcast, and that's part of the reason I wanted to make sure I had enough information to give an accurate opinion on it. So I did beat the story mission 2 nights ago on the Pyromancer, and I'll get into the different classes here in a minute. And then I started running Devastator, so I'm slowly playing through all the classes at the moment. So, those of you who don't know much about Outriders, it is a looter shooter, and my first impression on that is it's probably one of the true, by definition, looter shooters. Like you're killing things and you're getting loot, like serious amounts of loot. A lot of it's not what I want, but that's to be expected. I will say, as you progress in levels and world tiers, your drops get a lot better. So there is that aspect, but in true, for lack of a better description, Diablo nod, you get loot left and right, and you just pick and choose what you want. But we'll get into more on that here in a little bit. So, those of you who don't know anything about Outriders, the gist of the story is Earth is uninhabitable. You flee Earth to a planet called Enoch, and you find out real quickly that that is not the planet you were promised, and it's pretty much out to kill you. So an anomaly storm comes through and hits you and your team. Your team gets wiped out. You survive, and you get put into cryo and wake up a lengthy time later, and everything's kind of gone to crap after that. And you're the hero, basically. You're there to find a way out for everyone. So that's the gist of the story. So when it comes to the classes, you have the choice of picking 2, 4, 5, I believe. One of them is the Pyromancer, who wields fire. One is the Devastator, and he's kind of like the tank, close quarters combat type thing. There's 4 classes. There's the Trickster. He is, for lack of a better description, the assassin. He can teleport. He's got a spinny blade of death. Back to the Devastator. The Devastator has, he slams the ground and sends out shockwaves that kill his enemies. The Pyromancer is kind of like your medic and sniper all rolled into one. So that's, and like I said, I started off on the Pyromancer, largely because it's very similar to the Warlock's solar classes, wielding fire and making things burn and stuff like that. Which, going into the classes, just the 2 that I've played so far, the Pyromancer is, you got to be really tactical with the Pyromancer. He doesn't get a lot of damage from abilities until he gets higher level, and I think he's sitting at 28 or 29 right now, and he's now what I feel like he can do some serious damage and hold his own. The Devastator's a little bit different. I'm having to change my tactics up a little bit, and that's just, he's got this seismic shockwave that he hits the ground, and then it does damage to enemies. And he's got one that he jumps up in the air and he becomes a missile, kind of like the Titan in Destiny. So those are the 4 classes you can pick from, and they all play very differently. If you want a really good breakdown of the classes and their abilities and stuff, I recommend watching MTash's YouTube videos that he's done. He's done a video on all 4 subclasses, and then he did a 5th video on what he's gonna run as his primary in the game. So yeah, check out MTash on YouTube. He's got several videos on this. So this game has some unique mechanics to it, and I say unique, but anybody that's been playing looter shooter games will recognize almost all of them, because the creators of this game basically took pieces from almost every looter shooter out there. And if you want to add one more just as an oddball, even took stuff from Diablo. You've got run and gun abilities. You've got hide behind walls like in Gears of War and Division. Um, you've got magical abilities like Destiny. It is very much a dungeon crawl like Diablo. So this is kind of unique way that they've done this, and it's not PvP. You can do co-op, but it's not PvP, which is fine with me. The other thing that it's got that was in Diablo is world tiers, and I believe they put world tiers in Division as well. So as you progress in world tiers, the harder the game gets. And I'll get into that in just a second. So as your character levels up, he also levels up his world tier at the same time. So what that causes is the difficulty to increase quicker than your level increases. And that being said, enemies become bullet sponges a lot quicker. So the whole purpose of this is to stay as low in a world tier to make it as fun as possible for you without being, smacked all the time. Like I played the world tier 4, I believe, and I got to the point where I couldn't keep up. My level wasn't high enough where my powers could do much damage. And I eventually dropped it back down to World Tier 2 on the Pyromancer just to play the game out. And that's something that Imtash just talks in his one of his videos is, if you want to have a slugfest and deal with, bullet sponges, keep playing on the World Tiers as they go up. But if you want to have some fun and just, enjoy the game and shoot things and kill things and not get your butt handed to you, play at a lower world tier. And then once you beat the story mission where you can really start crafting things, and I'll get into crafting in a second, crafting things, then, then start going up in your world tiers and getting better loot and having a little more of a challenge, because then your things aren't as much of a bullet sponge as they were. So the leveling thing is weird in the respect that you can level up your weapons through crafting. So there's a couple things you can do with crafting. Let me get into crafting first. So crafting, you can change the rarity of your weapon. So if you've got like a green weapon, you can make it a blue, or a blue weapon, you can make it purple, purple weapon, you can make it yellow. That is extremely pricey to do. You can increase the stats on your weapon. You can add mods to your weapon, or you can level it up. So you can, in theory, level a weapon up to, like, say you're level 15, you can level it up to level 20, which is great. It does more damage, especially if it's a weapon you like. And that's the other thing that I really enjoy about this game is like you could find a piece of a jacket or pants or boots or a helmet or whatever, and it's got a mod on it that you really, really like. Then you can just keep leveling that up. And so as you go up in levels, you can continue leveling it up, which is great. especially when it comes to weapons, because I've got a couple of weapons that I really love. Um, and I'm cycling levels through them so they can stay up. Problem with that is like your weapon can be a higher level than your actual class level is, and that causes a problem in the world tier system because your abilities are based off of your light level. So if you're running like a world tier 5 and you're level 28 and you're going up against level 32 enemies, yes, your gun can handle them, which is fine, but your abilities, it's like slapping them with a piece of paper. I mean, they're not gonna feel it. And world tiers go up to like I think it's 15. I think is what it is. Um, so um, you got to be kind of like a little aware of that, and it drops hints with you. Like if you keep dying in a certain spot, it's like you might want to lower the world tier, which is probably a good idea. I'm just saying. Um, so let's talk about cover. So cover, there's a lot of it, and you can use it. Um, but the creators of this game decided that really wasn't um, what they intend you to do. My impression of it is that they intended this game to be a very much aggressive run and gun, take it to them type game. Um, Even though it's got mechanics from Gears of War and Division where you can hide behind cover, as soon as you hide behind cover, the bad guys start throwing grenades and they are accurate. Like they'll throw one right next to you in cover. Um, so in the demo, I played one. Um, I played through and it was like, I'm just gonna use cover. Cover's great. Cover is your friend. No, no. Cover is not your friend. Um, so you're what I've started doing when it came out on the first is nope, run and gun. I'm going to be as aggressive as I can. I'm going to take the fight to them, force them to use cover, and it worked pretty well. It got me through the story mission on the Pyromancer. The Devastator I'm running right now, a little bit of a different story. Um, it's he's not supposed to be a ranged guy, but I've got a sniper rifle I like right now, and I'm very much treating him as a ranged guy. Like people want to get close to me, boom, I'll use my close in support, smash the ground, kill people, get my health back. But as right now, very much if I can hit you at range, I'm gonna do it. Um, so another thing that's in there is um, oh, I left out a game that this has um, some attributes from Mass Effect. Um, Anybody that knows me personally knows that I'm a huge Mass Effect game. I have played every Mass Effect game, beaten every Mass Effect game. I am probably one of the few people that I know, I may be the only one within my friends group, my gaming group, that has beaten Mass Effect 3 and got Shepard to survive. And that's super hard to do, but I did. Anyway, side note, I digress. Conversation wheels. There are a lot of cutscenes. I know that's been a gripe within the Outrider community right now, that there's ton of cutscenes. For me, personally, I like that. I like the storytelling ability. And that's really one of the gripes I have with Destiny as it stands right now, is everything is locked behind lore and you gotta go read it. And honestly, I don't like to read things. Like, if I'm gonna go and play a game for a story, tell me the story. Don't make me go read it. And so Outriders has done really good about telling the story. So there's tons of cutscenes. But in true Mass Effect fashion, you can have conversations. Mass Effect had the conversation wheel. This has got a list of conversations that you can have, which for me, I thoroughly enjoy. I love hearing that story. Weapons. Let's talk about weapons for a few minutes. So as I alluded to earlier, you got different types of weapons. You got white weapons, you got green weapons, you've got blue weapons, you've got purple weapons, you got yellow weapons. Anybody who has played Destiny understands this concept. You got your common, your uncommon, your rare, your legendary, and exotic. Now in Outriders, it's your common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary. So your whites and your greens don't really have a lot to them as far as special abilities. You don't really start getting special abilities until you get into blues, purples, and yellows, oranges, whatever the color is for legendary. And that's in the form of mods. And so you can have a mod that you shoot something and you gain health back. You don't have to kill it, you just have to shoot it. And you gain health back. I had a sniper rifle on my Devastator that I killed somebody. The body exploded and damaged stuff within 6 meters of the explosion. There's on my Pyromancer, I've got an auto rifle that every crit shot drops a lightning bolt on the enemy. Which, by the way, that's super fun to do. You just start stacking up bodies and lightning bolts just coming from the sky. So, which makes crafting fun because the mods are interchangeable. So you could like get rid of a legendary that you're not using and get legendary mods, and then take a legendary that you like, say it's the auto rifle, and go, hey, I want to add the mod that drops lightning on people, and then I want to add the level 3 mod. Say it's a level 3 mod. I don't remember if I haven't gotten unlocked a lot of level 3s yet because I've been hoarding my legendaries. But you could add 2 legendary mods to your legendary weapon. And the one thing that I really wish Destiny would like take a page from Outriders right now. Like if Bungie would just sit there and go, what is so cool about Outriders? And then go take a page from them. It would be, let us feel like we're invincible. Like, this game is so good. Once you get high level, like you can just rock the world by yourself. Like, you just, no. Would you hit me with a piece of paper when people shoot at you? You know, Pyromancer, I'm high enough level that like I can drop a volcano on them and like just big volcano explosion comes up out of the ground and shoots lava everywhere and kills things within a 10-meter radius of the original explosion. You could basically clear a room that way, just a boom, and done. Now I will say there are cooldown timers on your abilities, but there are mods that allow you to have certain abilities, multiple times. And if you can get the mod that lets you have the volcano twice, I mean, you just drop 2 volcanoes in a room and you could almost wipe out an entire room. Like, that's what Destiny's missing. And I know I'm not really going to talk a lot about Destiny, but this game kind of feeds some of the things I wish Destiny would do. Like, in Destiny, we are gods, more or less. We're supposed to be the unstoppable person. Let us be unstoppable. Let us do this. Take a page out of Outriders. Let us be unstoppable. Anyway, get off my Destiny soapbox. But yeah, you can do crafting and change the mods and make the weapon what you want it to be. Same thing. If you get a green weapon, which I've got a green weapon right now, I really like. On my Devastator, then you can change the rarity of it. And that's a little costly, I won't lie. But you can. So, I mean, that's one of those that you'd be really sure that's what you want, because you're going to get a lot of loot. And very much like Diablo, you get loot and you're just like tossing it every few minutes because you're getting something better and you're getting something better and you're getting something better. But when you do find that piece you really like, it's got the mods you want or your stats you want, you can craft it and keep leveling it up and adding stuff to it, stat points, different mods, change the rarity, things like that. It makes this game really fun. And I think that's my point in this conversation. Now, I will say that prior to this week, it did not have a good launch. There were some Destiny-ish issues. They had server problems. They had connection problems. People were getting booted out of the game. I think part of this, and I saw it a lot in Destiny. I've seen it in Call of Duty. I think I believe it's People Can Fly who made the game, and Square Enix, what they didn't realize from the demo was the volume of people who were going to play this game. And so when it dropped, people rushed it, crashed the servers. Servers couldn't handle it. Now, I will say Square Enix and People Can Fly have been really, 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 really good about being transparent with the issues. They on their Facebook page will post, hey, here's why we were having server problems. It was X, Y, and Z. Now, technical speak, this is what the issue was. And they aren't just coming out saying, oh, our bad. Too many people were on and it crashed the servers. No, they're like going into the technical side of what caused the problem. And for me, who have played games where we've had technical problems at launch, Destiny, it's refreshing to see somebody who makes games come out and say, hey, here's what the actual problem is. Here's how it's going to have to be fixed, and we will fix it in the next patch. And they've done several patches since launch to try to fix a lot of these issues. I will say they did a nerf on this last patch to some things, and honestly, I don't have the patch notes up to read what they are. But they felt like the characters were getting too powerful for the game, and that's not what the game was designed for. I'm a little on the fence about that, largely because I like being powerful. I like being able just to slap enemies around, just stare at them and they fall over. That's fun. So I'm on the fence about that, and I haven't really dove into the patch notes to look at it. But that's so. My impressions of the game right now are favorable. I'm enjoying playing it. Um, I've got, and I'll be up probably here after I get done with the podcast. Um, but I've got several streams on Twitch and YouTube uh, where I've been playing the game and trying to get people to take a look at it and see what's going on. But it's fun. Even as a solo player playing through it, it's been fun. I'm waiting for the guys to be available so we can run co-ops together. I think that would be even more fun, especially if you're running like a combo class like a Pyro, Devastator, Trickster. Like I would almost crank up world tiers for that. Like I would just, I think level 5 is the highest I've got unlocked right now. So like if Brutal and Gilly and I were running co-op, I'd probably crank it up to 5 and just start going up world classes from there, just to have fun. I think if you had a level 28 Devastator, level 28 Pyro, and a level 28 Trickster, that as a team, that would probably be the most unstoppable team you could have. I mean, it would just be, you'd just be rocking people's worlds. So yeah, I'm very happy with the game. I think it's done very well so far. Like any game, it's going to have its quirks. But it's been good. It's been real good. So anyway, it's a little shorter podcast today, largely because Brutal's not here. But, you know, it's probably going to be like that for a little while. I know Brutal's got a lot of stuff going on right now. This summer, I'm going to be hit and miss, so Brutal's probably going to be filling in for me. For those of you who don't know, I have a baby boy due here in June, so it's going to take up a little bit of my time. I'm still going to try to do podcasts, but I'm probably going to lean on Brutal to do a lot of the commentary because I think he's going to have more time than I have. That being said, that he's got a lot of things going on in May and June, but we will definitely still try to keep up our schedule and go from there. And then in the fall, I start back to school. So between work, school, and a newborn, my time is going to be a little thin. But I will definitely still keep trying to stay on the schedule of the podcast episodes because I know our fans are eagerly waiting for us to give reviews and opinions and things like that. So who knows? You may even see my little one with me or hear my little one with me while we do a podcast. It'll be fun. It's 14 years since I had my last one, so yeah, this is going to be fun. But anyway, we're going to end it there. I believe you can find me on Twitch at ArcticJag242 on Twitch TV. You can find me on YouTube at ArcticJag-Midnight Misfits Gaming. Feel free to drop in, leave comments. I do streaming. I'm trying to get a solid schedule back, but between work and personal life, it's been a little difficult to get consistent streaming. But yeah, that's where you can find us. And then let us know what you think of our podcast when you jump in. But anyway, we're going to end it there. Hope you all have a good Sunday, and we will see you next time.